Okay, one of the first things we need to discuss here will be the magnets that are used on the belt cards and brush card. And these are the neodymium batteries. They're the N52s, and they're very, very strong magnets, classified as the world's strongest magnets. So if you have any medical conditions, make sure you check, and I'm going to use this as a disclaimer. Hello fellow woodworkers, welcome to the Chatternator family. This video is being put together to help assemble and install your add-on to your molding machine. This piece I have right in front of me right now is how it will be shipped. As you can see, the brush head and pulley are upside down and 180 degrees turned around. And this is strictly for shipping purposes only. And also your top mounts here are just bolted in, just loosen bolt, pull the other one out. These will pull up, and I'll show you on figure 2 here what it will look like. This is all put together. You can see that the mount hinges here were brought up, and you can see that there's a 2-inch screw here, or bolt, and a 2-inch bolt here. And what this is for the idler pulley and the spring, which you will cut to size, that will hook to the pulley to here to pull tension on your feed roller belt. And you can see that the top is mounted, reverse mounted here, bolted down, and it gives you a pretty good idea of what it should look like when it's finished. Next we have the roller pulley, feed roller pulley, and put the set screw to the inside on the pulley, and that way it will give you a little adjustment for any belt alignment from your machine to the add-on. And the sanding strips here, you can see that this is a much smaller width of the brush itself, of the sandpaper coming down. The 3mm will get into your very tight places to remove the chatter. The next is a 4mm, it's a little wider, and this will clean up a little wider area, a flatter area. And then we move on to the 7mm, and this will clean up most of your flat stock. So with the small to the large, it should clean up your chatter. I did loosen some of the screws, and I'll get this plate off. Maybe. Okay, finally got it off. Now, as you put these in, you put either the smallest to the largest, but keep them in sequence. That way you'll get a better sanding position with it. Now, also keep in mind that this head will be turning counterclockwise. So when you put the brushes in, make sure that your strips, the sanding strips, are to the left and will be going counterclockwise on your molding as you sand it. And then you just continue on around, fill this up, and you'll have a full brush head. Now the grits of the paper will determine how fine of finish you want on it. I usually run about 150 to 180 grit, and they clean up very well. And then you just need to put your plate back on, and then you're ready to mount to the machine. Okay, let's real quickly go back over what everything is and how it should look like when full of brushes. This is your, again, your pulley for your tension, idler arm, or idler pulley for your belt, and we'll show you that later as it goes around here. The pulley with the set screw to the inside, and this will just be a lock nut for the case, the belt cover. And then as we move around to the brush head here, you can see that there are different color brushes in here. And these ceramic brushes are put in there about every fifth or sixth brush, simply because they're more aggressive brushes, and then it'll be cleaned up by your other brushes that will be a finer grit. The red might be 120, and then your other brushes might be 150 or 180 or whatever you decide you need. And then your pulley on this side is your drive pulley, and also your mounts. This is what it should look like, complete, ready to set onto the machine. The next thing we need to look at will be on the motor itself, on the motor, your drive motor. There are 4 bolts that hold it in place. If you could loosen those and slide it to the in-feed roller side to give you a little counterbalance, so when you put your drive motor onto your Chatternator, it will not be as nose heavy. So it'll give you a little counterbalance. This is your bottom mount bracket. As you can see, there's square holes, round holes, and what you'll need to do is when you come down onto the frame, I've got my old mounts on there, but all you need to do is use because they're carriage bolts with the square head, it'll just bolt right on there, and you'll be ready for your top or for your bottom mount to be set. And next we would go with a template that will come with it, and just sets on the angle iron. Mark your holes, drill them, and you're all set. Up top here, to drill about a 3/8 hole, about 11 inches from here out, and that's going to be for this safety chain here that we're going to mount in a bit. The hinges, make sure that the hinges, when they mount, will come up this way so you can get a full closure on it. If you go the other way, you can see you're not going to get more than a 90 on them. So when you have them this way, this will go onto your angle iron and the holes that have been drilled. And then the bolts, there's 2 center pivots here that will mount to your motor itself. Now, as you can see on the motor, on the mount, you have your oval holes. So one hinge will be out here on the farthest, one hinge will be over here. And this is what it should look like when it is mounted. So this will go into your angle iron, the holes that you drilled, and you should be able to bolt it right up. Okay? Okay, now when you bolt up, it's easiest to have a block of wood that you can set it on, and just to get one started to hold it into place. And then as we go through, you can mount the rest of them, and if you don't have it shimmed up, you'll be fighting it all the way. So this should be good on the mounts for right now. You'll have a combination, either a carabiner, snap hooks. So anyways, this other hole that was drilled up top here is just to snake through the carabiner, which will, and the snap latch will hook here. Now I'll hold the motor up, and you can kind of center, get some adjustment here. That's why with the mounts back here, with the hinges, don't tighten them too tight. Leave a little play, that way you can line your motor up with your drive belt for your brush head. Okay, this is where the chain is, and you can see why it's on there, because when we put the belt on, this will pull out this way, and it also acts as an idler pulley. This is your power switch, and all that I did was take a couple of conduit clips, tapped a couple holes with drillers, and then it just mounts right in there. And it's just mainly to keep it out of the way so you're not running over it all the time. This is a complete unit that we have put together, and you can see that the top mounts just slide onto this angle iron here, and they lock down so to hold it in place. Then down here on those bottom mounts that we have with the holes tapped in, they will line up, drop a bolt through, tighten it up, and you're almost ready to go. We have to do the feed roller pulley, and that's what I'll show how to put that on next. Okay, next I'll show you how to put the feed roller pulley on. As I showed you earlier, the set screw on this feed roller is to the inside. Now on the machine itself, you need to loosen, well, just twist, you can push by hand and take the belt off, pull it on the feed roller pulley. Make sure that you put the set screw to the inside. That way it will give you belt alignment here, and then once you get it set, just tighten them down. This feed roller pulley off your DC motor goes back on with the set screw to the outside, and then reconnect the belt and just hand feed it, and it'll feed back over. Now this is where the longer screws come into place, or longer bolts, where you can see where it just hooks back up into there, and set your pulleys to wherever they need to be, and you have enough tension on here for your outfeed roller on your molding. So you should be pretty well set. We'll put the covers on. Oh wait, one more thing. We have a drive belt here that you'll see where the chain link, so you can just pull it up, feed it on over, and you can see that this will act as your idler pulley, and we'll keep things moving along at a good pace. Okay. Now that the hood is on, put your lock wing nuts on, and we'll start putting the brush covers on, and you should be pretty close, ready to go. Okay, the first one that I have is the brush cover, and you can see that we have the magnets on the bottom here, and everything is cut out to fit over next to your pillow block bearings, so it sets right on there. Porthole for dust, real easy to pull off, so no nuts and bolts to mess with. The next one will be for the, and here's another lock nut on there, will be over your feed roller pulleys. Mounts to the machine, lock, you're all set there. And then the last one will snap in place also, and this again is our trademark on here, Chatternator. And there you go, you're all set, ready to start molding. This is a guide that I made up, and it works really well. You can see that it's cut out here so you can bolt it down, so the width of your trim with a 6-inch sanding head, you're not going to be eating up your brushes by hitting your guide. So this is for the guide itself. And you can see it's just like the rest of your guides that you either made or have come with the machine, that they're dished out here. So your feed roller pulleys, your drive on your molder head will have room to make the adjustments. Okay, then the last thing is, again, make sure that you read up and check out these total element magnets. They're very strong magnets, and again, this would be the disclaimer as far as the use of the magnets. And with that, we'll say goodbye from the Chatternator.